Okay, so sorry guys, I had to update my Zoom feature here. So I'm going to try not to rock because I got a new chair and it rocks and it's like a super glider. So I wanted to update and give you some new audiobook information because some people had been telling me that, hey, we love your videos, but they're so old. We wondered if there's been any update, and there absolutely has. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to see if I can, there we go. So the first thing is this. These are some big changes that happened since the last video that I recorded, I think last May. So the first thing is ACX. They took away their ability to pay for codes, which made them way less a reason to be exclusive with them. And for every book that you owned the rights to, in other words, if you didn't have a narrator that you paid for royalty share with royalty share, you were still locked in for 7 years. Now, they actually did have a little like sneak clause that you could email them after your books had been in for a year, and they would change your exclusivity, but they weren't really very vocal about that. However, they have just come out now and said that you can change it after 90 days. So that's pretty big. It means that even if you decide to go exclusive with ACX or you went exclusive with ACX in the past, you're not locked in for that 7 years, which is nice because there's some amazing stuff happening on the outside. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, I will tell you that even though it's nowhere in their contract that you sign, when I had started with exclusive with ACX and then gone non-exclusive and then come back, no, the other way. I started non-exclusive and then came to exclusive. They told me that you can only change your exclusivity once. And it's in their frequently asked questions, even though I had to go digging to even find that. So you do want to make sure that you decide how you want to start, because you may only get one time to change it unless they make some super changes to that. So what is the benefit versus the cost of starting with ACX and then going wide? So there's a couple of schools of thoughts. One school of thought is that you do make more percentage when you start with ACX exclusive. It's 45%, I believe. And if you go non-exclusive, it's only 25%. So there is a school of thought that start with ACX, get the 45% for that 90 days, because that's when people are going to be wanting to buy your book anyway, mostly because it's going to be newly released, and then pull it out and go exclusive. I think that's fine. I personally don't do that, and I'll explain why. So ACX, when COVID hit, not even really when it hit, towards the end of the year, they got like super sluggish, and it was taking months to get your audiobook up. It is better. It is no longer taking 3 to 6 months, but it is still taking 3 to 6 weeks. And so the reason that I do not go exclusive with ACX just ever is because in the time that it takes ACX to get my book up, I'm up already at Find a Way and making sales. I'm up already on my website and making sales. And so I feel like the income that you would get from the exclusive pricing isn't worth, for me at least, the benefit of what you're losing from people who can't get your book right away. Because now it's not really just that 90 days, it's that 90 days plus however long it takes for ACX to put your book up. Whereas if you go non-exclusive with ACX, you can go and upload it with Findaway Voices, who typically gets it up within 3 days and shoots it out. And you can get it up on your website that very day and get it out. So that is what I choose to do. For me, it just is the better option. And there's a couple of other things that I want to talk about with that before I start showing screens and how you can actually make extra money with that. So the other thing that I found in the last year is that Kobo has an audiobook direct site. So you can go to Kobo through Findaway Voices. It's kind of like that draft digital thing where it's an aggregate where they'll send it out to everybody, which is great. But you lose the ability to do promotions. And Kobo has started creating audiobook specific promotions that you can only be a part of if you upload your audiobook directly to Kobo. It is super easy to upload an audiobook to Kobo. It's faster than Findaway Voices. And if you already have it up on Findaway Voices, it's super easy to take it off of the Kobo distribution through them and go directly up to Kobo through Kobo. And then you can participate in these audiobook promotions. And because audiobook promotion is so new, anytime you can get in on an audiobook promotion is amazing. So that is one thing I would really recommend for being non-exclusive to ACX, is the ability to get in these Kobo audiobook promotions. I just got into one that's like the first in the series, and then I'm going to do another one that is like binge reads or whatever. And you just lower your price to whatever it is for that time. You still make all the commissions off of it. They pay, I believe, pretty similar to Find Away Voices, a little bit more if you go direct through them, obviously. I think I'll have to check to be sure, but I think it's 45 to 55%. So definitely worth it for that. Now, here's the really cool part as to why you should consider going non-exclusive with ACX. And I should touch on this. I know some of you are still getting started and you're still wanting to do royalty share. I will tell you that for the most part, author or narrators who are worth their salt are no longer going to be willing to do straight royalty share with you because it's just not economical for them unless they have an amazing way to promote your audiobook, or you have an amazing way to promote their audiobook. Because basically what they do is they then do all of the work up front in hopes that they're going to get paid over time. That's never a good model. So most narrators, including myself, have stopped doing royalty share only, and we're now doing royalty share plus, which isn't terrible for narrators. I do think it's definitely not the best thing for authors. But again, if you're just getting started and it's your only option, it's better than not having your audiobook out there. Basically what that means is they take a smaller percentage upfront, but they also still get half of your royalties for 7 years. So in the old royalty plus model that you may still find some people do, but it's not me, you wouldn't pay anything up front, but they would get half of your royalties for 7 years, and you can't take your files anywhere else. Like, you don't own them, ACX owns them, they're there for 7 years. The royalty share plus means that you're going to pay a percentage of the pay per hour. So the narrator is going to get something for their time up front, and then they're also going to get 50% of your royalties for 7 years. That's why I say it's not terrible on the narrator side. It's definitely not great on the author side. But typically what you will find is that narrators will give you a lower percentage for that. So like right now I'm still charging $100 per finished hour. Once I hit 100 books, and I'm about halfway there, that price goes up, unless you've been one of my clients who's locked in with me and send me all your audiobooks, and then you're locked in at 100 for life. Oh, I forgot to tell you that, but that's kind of important to know. So if you want to get in on narration, inexpensive narration at a price for life, now would be the time to do it. But anyway, so normally I charge $100 per finished hour, but at the end of that, you own all the files. So then you can take them from ACX and you can put them on Findaway, and you can put them on Kobo, and you can put them on your websites. If I do royalty share plus, I only charge $50 per finished hour, but those files then are locked in ACX, and I take half of the royalties as well for 7 years. So I charge a discounted rate. You will find that most narrators will give you a discounted rates. So if you're really still struggling with money up front, and you can't find a narrator you like who's at a decent price, like that 100 to 150 per hour, then it's still not a bad option. It's way better to get your books out there because it's passive income. It's just income that's going to start coming in, and you don't have to really do a lot with it. And of course, the more things that come out that we can promo, it'll get better. But if you at all can, as an author, I would recommend paying per hour for your files so that you can take them wide, because otherwise you're locked into ACX for 7 years. Okay, so now let's talk about the really cool thing that you can do. I really just want to share my screen. How do I do that real quick? I thought I knew the button down here, but now I can't. Okay, so one person can share at a time. That's great, but I just want to share my screen. Sorry guys, it's been a while since I've had to do this, because unlike a lot of people, I've actually been able to teach in person, which is nice. So I haven't had to deal with sharing my screen because I haven't been there. Okay, maybe I have to go full screen to share my screen. Let's see what's happening here. Mute my audio. I don't want to stop my video, but can I share my screen? Video settings, share screen. Okay, enter full screen. Yeah, I just want to do it. Can you just make it go and do that? Just make it. Okay, maybe I can't share my screen today, which is sort of annoying. What if I just click this? Okay, here's what I want. So I'm going to share my Google Chrome, and then I have to fix this because this is not the page I want to be on. But all right, so here is the first thing that I want to talk about. So I got to move this bar because I can't see what I want to get to. Okay, let's just make this lower. Yes, I have a lot of tabs up. My kids always tell me this. All right, so the very first thing is I want to show you guys PayHip. So PayHip is amazing. I stumbled across this when I was trying to sell my audiobooks and my ebooks on my own personal website, just because I like to be able to make the price lower, especially once I pulled my books out of KU, because I have a lot of people who are like, hey, I can't afford to buy them at this price. Is there any way you'll go back in KU? And the answer is no, because I never made as much on page reads as I do actually selling the books. And just like being exclusive to ACX, I didn't want to be exclusive to Amazon. I want people to be able to get it everywhere. I want to be able to go in libraries, things like that. But I stumbled across PayHip because PayHip, you can set your prices, and they take a percentage, a small percentage, but you don't have to pay a monthly fee. But you do have to pay the PayPal charge as well when you set that up, which I didn't know at first. And so like my first thing I sold that was like $1, I made like 10 cents. And I was like, wait, what happened here? So do make sure that you keep in mind PayPal takes a small percentage of that too. But it's still super worth it because you can put your ebooks on, and BookFunnel will deliver them automatically. You can put your audiobooks on and BookFunnel will deliver them automatically. And you can put up autographed paperbacks, which is what I do. And then they can actually like put in their mailing address and you can sign books and send it out to them. And it's still cheaper for me to be able to buy my books at cost, autograph them and send them out than it is for someone to just buy the paperback on Amazon. They pay less, I make more. It's a win-win. So if you haven't looked into PayHip, I would certainly recommend it. But super awesome what it does with audiobooks. Okay. So when you go into PayHip, the really cool thing about it is all of these little pieces where you can set up like coupons and marketings and things. So with this one, like I can set it up to where if they refer a friend, they get a percentage coupon, and then they can use that percentage coupon on anything in my store. You can set up coupons for if they share something. You can set up coupons for if they buy something and then it like upsells to something else that they could add. They could get a discount on that item. You can set up coupons as a reward for, people who, whatever you want to do them for. If you're running a contest or whatever, you can set up these coupon codes. So that's what I super liked about PayHip versus, I know Smashwords, you can do coupons, a little trickier, but with PayHip, you can set up as many coupon codes as you want. You can set a limit as to how many times they're used. You can set an expiration date. There's a lot of cool stuff they can do. And people can kind of become an affiliate for you so that if they are marketing your works and people are buying them, they get codes that they can use. So that's really cool. And those actually can stack from what I understand. So it starts at 25%. If you send this out and someone buys it, you get this 25% code. But if you send it out to 2 people and 2 people buy it, then all of a sudden your code is 50%. And so if you send it out to 4 people, you can get something for free. And we all love free stuff, right? Okay. So that's the first thing. You set it up on PayHip and you just set it up. I set it up as a product, a physical product, just because PayHip isn't going to send anything directly, but I may need to go back and fix that because now that I know how to link it through BookFunnel correctly, it may not need to be a physical product. It might actually need to be an electronic product. So I'll update that for you guys. But so then what you do is you go over here to BookFunnel. And if you don't have a BookFunnel account and you're an author, you really need to get one super fast because it's super important. So the first thing you'll have to do is, of course, you need to contact them and get into their beta audiobook trial that they're doing right now. Right now it's free. Eventually it's going to have a price. I don't know exactly when that's happening. I just managed to get in. But from what I understand, if you get in, everything that you add before it goes to cost stays at that free price. So I have all my books uploaded currently, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, how can I record the last of them and get them up quickly too? But you would go over here to add new audiobook. And then just like when you're putting it through like BookFunnel, Findaway Voices, you would click on that and you're going to enter the information, the book description. And then you want to click down here where it says allow readers to download, because one of them, if you don't click it, they can't like listen to it on their computer. And I've heard people get kind of angry about that. And then you go to create the audiobook. And then it's literally just pulling the files in just like you do for Findaway Voices. So super easy then to get your audiobooks uploaded into BookFunnel. And then what you have to do, and this is what I forgot when I did it, is you have to go over here to where it says sales. And you have to click on sales and then click on action, and you have to create a new delivery action. This is how it goes for both your ebooks and your audiobooks, so that when people buy from your PayHip or whatever site you use, I just like PayHip because it's super easy to figure out, then PayHip sends a thing to BookFunnel and says, hey, somebody purchased this book, and BookFunnel sends an email to the person who bought it and says, here's how you download your book. So it's super easy, and it takes you out of the equation, which is nice. Because if you're selling a little at a time, that's not bad. But if you start making a lot of sales, that would be really hard to manage. So you come in here, and I don't know, it says you can do pre-orders. I have not touched on that yet. That's coming, but I will get there. But you come in here and you set up what you want your delivery action to be. So in other words, if I wanted this to be send out the still small voice, I labeled it audiobook, and I actually have this one in here, you'll see, so that I know what it is. And then you come over here and you choose the book that you want it to be, right? So the still small voice, this is the ebook copy, this is the audiobook copy. So when you're setting your books up, try to make sure that you know which one it is so that you're linking the right thing, because that's really important. And then when it says for item link, this is where you're actually going to come back over here to your PayHip site, and you're going to copy this link up here in the URL, and that's what you're going to paste there, because what that means is then when they buy it in their cart, that BookFunnel is going to get a message, and then they're going to send it out to them. Okay. So you put that right here in item link. And then it tells you that you want to test this. I haven't had any problems, so I don't test every single one because I have a lot of books and that's time consuming. So I just uncheck this because I don't want it to pause. If it's paused, then what'll happen is you'll start making sales, but BookFunnel won't be sending anything, and that's bad. So don't pause it. You can test the first one if you want, and they say the best way to do that is to like set your price for free for a minute, or make yourself a coupon for 100% off and use the coupon code. I did that, and I did check to make sure that I would actually get the piece, and it was fine. Okay, so then you can go down here. I don't actually mess with any of this stuff just because I haven't had time to really look into it, but you can change. I wouldn't change this message because this is the one from BookFunnel that tells them if they have problems, how to reach out. But you could add to the message if you want. You can change the preview page. So I don't know why it's not showing me the preview page right now, but you can change the colors. You can change the theme. I don't really mess with that just because I don't have the time. Honestly, I need to be writing. And then you can put your Facebook pixel ID in. I haven't tracked this a whole lot, but people who are way better at marketing with Facebook, this is probably important. And so you click this and then you hit save and close. And then when you go back, everything is actually in these sales integrations. So I'll pull this up real quick so you guys can see. If I do a search then for audio, you can see now all of my books. Bam, 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 bam. They're all in here, and they're all linked. And you can see that it doesn't say paused on the side. So if people purchase these books, then it'll go through. And then you can kind of see delivery actions. So there you can see down at the bottom, some of these people had ordered and they got sent their book. And then there's a couple of ones that were showing as it didn't happen yet because I had it set up wrong to begin with. So this is the next video. I'm going to try to make a couple more of these, but super important as to why you should probably still go wide. I will also say too that I managed to snag a Chirp deal. They're still super hard to get into. Like I have put forth like 15 different books and I only got one, and it wasn't one of my more popular books. So it was really interesting that they picked that one. But I will say that that Chirp deal was amazing. And just like a BookBub, it popped my audiobook sales up for that month, because I think it runs for the whole month that it's discounted. But it also then popped up my audiobook sales for the next few weeks after that. And since the Chirp, I have seen a much higher percentage of Findaway Voices sales. So this last month was actually my highest month, my best month yet. And I have a friend who also is using Findaway Voices, and she has fewer books and is making more money because somehow she got a promotion on Hoopla that she doesn't even know how she did. But it took off. So there is real value in going wide instead of going exclusive. And so I would recommend really looking at, that percentage that you lose going non-exclusive, but the ability to put it everywhere and the ability to get it on your website, and you can make coupons and you can market, and it's super, super awesome to be able to do that. I will tell you, I do have in my head, I want to do kind of a course to walk people through how to narrate. I'm going to put this disclaimer with it that just because I show you how to narrate still doesn't mean you should narrate your own books. Some people have a voice and they can do that. Some people do not have a voice where they should narrate their own books. So, but if you are a narrator or you're wanting to get started, or you're an author and you're thinking about doing it, I'm looking at setting up a course that'll walk you through the big pieces that you need to know, because it's not something you can just jump into and figure it out. You'll hit a bunch of roadblocks and quality issues that you don't want to deal with. So I'm looking at putting that together when I get some time. It's spring break this week, so hopefully I will be able to get that together, and then I will get that up for you guys and let you know where you can go for that. If you have questions, comments, if there's anything that you would like me to do a video on that you are like, hey, it'd be really cool if you could show me how to do this, put it in the comments below, and I will certainly try to jump on and do that for you. And now that I figured out screen sharing again, the next one will look even better. So have a great weekend whenever you guys are watching this. Let me know if you have questions. If you haven't subscribed below, do that so you get updates on when videos come out. And I will see you again soon. Thanks, guys.